The project is about halfway complete, and we have about 2 years to go to finish our implementation. You can see that there's the National Gallery of Art from Washington, D.C. involved, the Chicago Art Institute, San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, the Freer-Sackler Gallery of Art, the Seattle Art Museum, the Walker Art Center, the Tate Gallery, and the J. Paul Getty Museum. There are just 3 of us who are doing Asian art content. We at LACMA, again, are doing Southeast Asian art. The Freer-Sackler Gallery of Art is working with some Japanese prints from some books that they've recently acquired. And then the Seattle Art Museum is working with Chinese scrolls to analyze the seals and stamps on the scrolls. This is a picture of our team. This project is considered very important in our museum, and it's led by our deputy director, Nancy Thomas. You can see we're all looking at her. And she's actually an Egyptologist herself, so she's also a scholar. So that enables us to have very good leadership who understands the problems that a scholar faces doing research and sharing their ideas. This is one of those little word maps that emerged when we were first starting the project. We met to describe our goals and needs. Of course, the big word is collection. We want to share information about our collection and bring new publications online and support scholarly research and also promote the collection at the same time. The catalog scope, as we'll have about 25 to 30 object entries with extensive footnotes as part of the project, and that will be able to grow over time. We will have extensive information about exhibition history, provenance, publications, bibliography. We'll have quite a few comparative images, anywhere from 10 to 30 per object. We'll be sharing technical studies and thematic essays, which are about many objects. And we need to show videos and support historical and geographic content. So those are a lot of content elements that are needed to support scholars and their research. There are many challenges with working with Asian art content, and some of these issues were just discussed with the architecture project in Italy. One of our main issues is that the scholarship is difficult to understand. It's dense. It's particularly difficult for Western audiences to understand. And we need to be able to show cultural context, and the specialized vocabulary and culturally specific explanations are needed. And then the scholarly arguments, of course, have original ideas and are not always easy for the general public to understand. Our target audience is the scholar, but this project and this content will be discoverable by the general public, so that's another challenge. We'll need to be working with terms in languages from Cambodian to French. We wish there were standard vocabularies available, but there isn't much. We're certainly grateful for the work and the progress that's being done right now in Chinese with the vocabularies for the AAT. But there is even less information that we can use for either the vocabularies or even scholarship online about other kinds of Asian art. It's this area of our history seems to be less well developed than in Western art. So we need to create an environment which supports concentrated, focused time to be spent with the material and also be discovered by the general public, as I mentioned. The National Gallery of Art has developed what they call a skim, swim, and dive editorial approach, where they will add some kind of teaser text and a summary on top of these dense essays. So that will help someone who stumbles onto this material. You can see here in this example, to compare these two images, the sculpture on the left, as you would see it in an art museum, has a very different look and feel and pristine environment compared to a setting where one of these objects would be used. Now, this is usually a very unusual slide to show to a Western audience, but to you all, this is normal. You know that this is a temple setting and that religious settings are usually not seen in art museums or in art historical or many art historical writings. So we hope to convey more understanding by sharing more of this kind of image and religious information with the online audience. Here's another example of how that a similar object might look in use when it has clothes and makeup in a temple. So we've decided that our primary goal is to support the scholarly voice. We really realized that we needed to understand what scholars want and need. How can technology be bent to support scholarly needs? And how will scholarly expression of ideas and collaboration be influenced by technology? So we did a front-end study to see how scholars do their research online so that we can better support their activities. We wanted to know who they were, what do they want to do, how do they do what they do now, what do we want them to do, and how can we make it better, make it easier for them to work online. We were surprised that it was a little more challenging to define the scholarly audience. It was bigger than we realized. We targeted the starred categories, doctoral students and researchers, professors, museum staff and curators, collectors, dealers, auction houses, and conservators. Those other categories are often scholarly in their interests, or maybe we would call them informed and nearly expert online users. But as we were doing our research and testing and asking questions in our front-end analysis, we did have one undergraduate student, and we found that their needs or concerns were almost completely different from the scholar. So we decided to focus on levels that were had more education and more experience with this content above the undergraduate student. So scholars' research methods are evolving. We certainly found